You're watching Photowalks from Route 66.
Whoa!
We're back on Route 66 in our 5-part photo adventure across the world's most iconic back roads. With the Route 66 Centennial just around the corner, our journey is a return to the America we once knew. Small towns, big dreams, roadside magic, a place so many Europeans and Asians come to visit every year to see the America they've gotten to know from the movies. And yes, it's still there. Route 66, it's a celebration of neon signs and dusty diners, Elvis and Marilyn, pies and burgers, shakes and stories, told by the dreamers and doers, the diehards who still believe in the myth and magic of the open road. My favorite place to be in the entire world. We drove all 2,448 miles from Chicago to LA in 3 weeks, and along the way, we met incredible characters and captured unforgettable sights. So come along for the ride right here on PhotoWalks. At the end of last week's show, we had checked out of the Best Western and galloped across another state some 23 miles away. Hello, Arizona. This is the final installment. Lupton, Arizona. We're going to end back in California. If you've been with us, you know that we started in Chicago. We went to St. Louis, Springfield, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Amarillo, Albuquerque. There was a little gallop, New Mexico, didn't make it here. And now we're Lupton, Arizona. The great thing about Arizona, it has the second most drivable miles of old Route 66, just under 400. And there are so many iconic shots here, from the Twin Arrows to the Wig Wams to the I'm Standing on a Corner in Winslow, Arizona. You know that song, right? So let's go explore Arizona Route 66. Historic Holbrook, an old western town. You can see some of the old buildings here. It's also near the petrified forest, but the way that most people want to get their kicks is down the road photographing the Wig Wams. You ain't never seen anything like it. If the Wig Wams look familiar, they should. It's the most blatantly copied Route 66 image seen in the Pixar movie Cars, where it is shown as the Cozy Cone Hotel, which was run by Sally, the female lead of the movie. Sally, of course, you'll recall from our Oklahoma visit, because she was inspired by Dawn, the real-life owner of the Rock Cafe in Stroud, Oklahoma. The Wig Wams are arguably the #1 photo spot in Holbrook, and they attract international visitors from all over, many of whom we met. How does Route 66 compare to Poland?
Oh, I feel like it's pretty difficult to compare Poland to US. Like, you know, in Poland we don't have so many open spaces. Like, you know, like here you have desert, you have a lot of open space.
Beyond the Wig Wams, Holbrook is also known for being very close to the petrified forest just east of the town. They are considered one of the most surreal and photogenic landscapes in the American Southwest. A little bit more recent, though still in the past, was Holbrook's days as an old western town, so rowdy it was considered too tough for women and churches. Those days thankfully are long gone, and yes, they have many churches in town now, as many as 20, and plenty of women too. Here it is, and in just a second, we're 18.6 miles away. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Okay, as promised, 18 miles up the road. Here it is. Here it is. Why is this such a big deal? And why do we care about this jackrabbit? Well, I know the people to ask, and they're right across the road this way. Let's find out together. Hop on in.
This is Tony, I'm Cindy.
Hi, Tony and Cindy. We're on the Chicago to LA Route 66 tour.
Oh, really?
Yes, we flew to Chicago, and then we rented a car and started driving.
That looks like you.
That would be me, yes. How many years has this business been here?
We are 76.
You look really young for 76.
We hold our age very
Yeah,
well.
it's really amazing. How long have you had it?
Tony and I have been running it since '90, but we've owned it since '95. But it's been in my family all but 12 of the 76 years. So it's my grandfather had it, my dad had it, my mom, and Tony and I.
Okay, so this sign at one point was all up and down the highway, right?
Well, the mileage signs were.
Right.
So it was a yellow sign, wooden sign, and it had the Black Rabbit and Black Miles, and it had the miles from there to the Jackrabbit.
Right.
So whenever the people were traveling, the kids would always say, "Are we there yet?" And the parents would say, "Watch for the signs," because the lower the miles you get, the closer you get to that big "Here it is."
How is the health of Route 66? Because we see stores open, stores closed, stores open, stores open, stores closed, 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 closed.
It's tough.
COVID hurt. COVID hurt.
It is.
What do you want people to know for next year when they're going to be traveling? I mean, first of all, the road, there's not a lot of Route 66.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What do you want them to know?
I want them to know that we're all waiting for them. We're here. Come on, bring it on. Just do it. Let's celebrate.
Tell us what's in your hand.
So this is Mr. Rabbit, the one that's outside that you take your picture with. This is a 3D Mr. Rabbit, and it's a new item here at the Jackrabbit, and it's made here in the USA, and we've ordered like 3 times now, and they've sold out every time.
Okay, but this is not a jackalope.
No.
It's not a
This
jackalope.
is a jackrabbit. Jackalopes have horns. Part jackrabbit, part antelope. This is just a jackrabbit.
A jackrabbit is a real animal?
It's a real animal.
Okay.
Yep, and they have long ears, and they run like crazy.
Why do you think people are so fascinated with them?
Because they're hard to find, they're rare to see, unless you're out hunting.
And here it is. And here it is.
Here it is, they're everywhere.
The next stop is Twin Arrows, an old landmark that is suddenly not so twin anymore. This was an old trading post from the 1940s that closed up in 1998, and all that's left of it were the 2 arrows encouraging folks to pull over and stop in. But now, it's just down to 1 arrow, a victim of high winds that destroyed it. The last arrow still stands, however, and is very popular, too popular, with taggers. Yet, it still makes a great shot anyway, right? Just about 30 miles from the Arrow is a town that arguably anyone who's a fan of 1970s classic rock will recognize instantly.
And here it is again, another great photo op, or should I say song op, on Route 66, Arizona. I'm standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. So, Winslow, cute little town. Besides the song op, Eagles memorabilia everywhere you look. Great diners, antique stores, some really old hotels. It's definitely worth getting off the road and checking this place out.
So Winslow is a shrine to the Eagles. Everywhere you look, you're going to see Take It Easy, Taking It Easy, standing on a corner. You're going to see t-shirts of every stripe with guitars in Route 66 and Eagle memorabilia. You're going to see posters of the Eagles, gold records of the Eagles, you name it.
Standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona is a fun thing to do, particularly for taking pictures. Now, this is one great song in the great state of Arizona. I have more song trivia for you relating to Route 66 and a certain Winona. Do we forget her or not? Sadly, we're going to have to forget about Winona because there's pretty much nothing here beyond a gas station, an old bridge, and a big road. Now, you know what the song says, remember? You'll go from St. Louis to Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City looking mighty pretty, you will see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. Now, I'm not going to forget about Flagstaff. That is an unforgettable town, one of the great college and mountain towns anywhere, and it's right on Route 66, and it's time to go check it out.
Now we're in Flagstaff, where we're staying at the Best Western Aden, a contemporary twist on the roadside hotel in a woodsy setting by the Ponderosa Pine Forest.
For Flagstaff, it is definitely more of a nature-themed area. Yes, it's a college town, but it's not like college town from the city.
Some people here say that Route 66 put Flagstaff on the map. They're already celebrating the centennial. They're already excited. They wear their Route 66 affiliation on their sleeve. This street right over there, the cars going up and down it, that's called historic Route 66. Like a river that runs through it, Route 66 runs from one end of Flagstaff to the other. What do you see here? You see great old historical buildings, neon signs, diners, fun stores to shop in, and I want to show you some of the great history here in Flagstaff. So let's get going.
Now, if you're into nostalgia, history, and just cool stuff, well, this is the photo walk for you as we explore the main streets and, more importantly, the side streets in search of photo gems.
It's hard to believe that the original Route 66 was right here on this quiet street, Phoenix, right off San Francisco. This is where you saw the Model T Fords going up and down the road for their big country drive, and then they had a better idea. Maybe we should be on the other side of the railroad tracks, which is where they moved Route 66 and where it's been ever since.
This is the Mother Myth mural, and if you're wondering why Route 66 is called the Mother Road, well, you can thank John Steinbeck, who called it just that in his classic Depression-era book, The Grapes of Wrath. The mural shows people migrating from east to west, and it's directly across the street from the old Downtowner Hotel, which shut down years ago. Next up, walk over to the historic Flagstaff Train Depot, which is a fantastic source of information, maps, and inspiration.
And now, of course, we're in Williams, which calls itself the gateway to the Grand Canyon, and for good reason. It's really close to the Grand Canyon. Visiting here is like stepping back into time into an old Western movie or TV show like we used to see with John Wayne and shows like Gunsmoke and Wyatt Earp. It has more curio shops than I've seen in any other Route 66 town, and I would know because I've driven through pretty much most of them. Finally, if you really like pies, I know a place that has over 30 of them, and we're going to check that out. Plus, we're going to go for a ride in an old car with a really interesting cowboy.
A little bit of history of the town. This town was founded in 1881. All these shops along here, from the Sultana down through town, all have underground tunnels. And one of the brothels is actually still, they still use it. It's called the Red Garter Inn, historic inn over here on the backside. Had a lady that was in it that worked there. She actually was killed, and people say that her spirit, people have seen her spirit still here.
So beyond the storied history of Williams, most people come to town to take that train ride directly into the Grand Canyon. It leaves once a day every morning. It's a 5-hour ride, and people love it.
It's 2 hours up, 2 hours back. You go right into the village. You have 3 hours to walk around the village, have lunch, and then on the way back they have a little surprise. They rob the train.
Oh, okay.
And it's fun because the guys are really neat people to work with. They it gets everybody involved. It's kind of fun for them.
Now about those pies. Pine Country is the diner with over 30 of them. Everything from chocolate and banana creams to traditional apple and pecan and berry pies, and then some. Now yes, it's true, we did order 3 of them. Favorite? Chocolate buttercream, but of course.
We made it to Seligman, one of the really cool small towns on drivable Route 66 in Arizona. Happens to be historic and the birthplace of historic Route 66. And if you're wondering, what does that all mean? Well, I know the guy who's going to tell us all about it. And he's standing right here. He's going to welcome me in, right? And open the door. And let's go in and find out all about it.
Prior to the interstate bypassing us, 9,000 cars a day. It was Main Street of America. This is how America traveled down a 2-lane highway from Chicago to Santa Monica.
Mauricio's father-in-law petitioned the state to turn the forgotten road into a historic Route 66, and that meant that land was now protected and the state would have to upgrade the road, keep it serviced, and let people know it's still there. That concept was followed by other states, and that's how Route 66 in 1987 came roaring back to life. Thank you, Angel.
We're still here. This is still the mother road. This is 159 miles of historic Route 66. The buildings are the same. All of these wonderful little treasure stops.
So from Williams, you've got about a 3-hour drive through some gorgeous backcountry where the main stop will be Kingman, which is a good place to gas up. It has another one of those drive-through Route 66 shields, a museum, and a fun diner. But you know, the really great stuff happens when you continue up the road. One of those great winding 2-lane roads anywhere leads to the old west town of Oatman, which looks like it stepped right out of the Bonanza set. This is a must-stop and one you will not forget.
Oatman, where the boroughs run right through town. This is an old west town. It's a lot of fun. If not just seeing the boroughs, but just seeing the way that things used to look like, it's definitely worth going out of your way to check out.
Do know that there is only one place to eat in town. It's the Oatman Hotel. This is a trip and worth seeing as the entire restaurant is covered in dollar bills. They told me there's as much as $400,000 up on the wall. The food's good, and it makes for quite a photo smorgasbord, don't you think?
We're just over the Arizona border in Needles, California. We're headed to the Santa Monica Pier and to see some other California Route 66 spots along the way, so let's go west.
To get to the sea, first you're going to go through a whole lot of desert. Now, we left Needles and headed about 2 hours west on Route 40, which doubles as Route 66 for much of the way, and that took us to Amboy, a tiny town famous for one incredible iconic sign, the one for Roy's Motel and Cafe. So this is a great example of 1950s classic neon at her best, even if you're photographing her during the day before the sign is turned on. So the motel's not currently in operation, and the cafe, well, they don't serve food, just snacks, as they don't have any water. But the spaces out here were as wide open as anywhere we'd been on this journey, if not wider, so we loved every minute of it. Can't say the same about Newberry Springs, the desert hamlet that's home to the Baghdad Cafe, which was seen in a 1987 film. No water or lunch served here either, but kind of fun to look around at. Newberry is less than a half-hour away from Barstow, which you all know from the song, but like many towns we've seen out on the road, Barstow has seen better days. It was once a railroad town, and while it's well-traveled as a halfway stop for folks driving from Los Angeles to Vegas or vice versa, the Route 66 section of town is mostly closed up. Go another half hour to the Victorville area, and here you're going to see one of the great oddities of the road, Elmer's Bottle Tree Ranch, a quirky collection of sculptures made from bottles. This is definitely worth pulling off the road for. From the desert to the big city, San Bernardino is the next stop, a city of over 200,000 people. The 66 highlight, another Wig Wam sighting. Skip the freeway to stay on 66 by driving on Colorado Boulevard as long as you can, and you will pass through little cities like Upland, Claremont, Glendora, and Monrovia before ending in Pasadena, where highlights include the beautiful Colorado Street Bridge. This carried Route 66 traffic before Colorado Boulevard was eventually rerouted, the majestic City Hall, which looks like it stepped out of an Italian painting, and the Fair Oaks Pharmacy in South Pasadena, which wears its retro cred on its sleeve. There's old-fashioned candies and knickknacks, and the centerpiece, an original soda fountain dating back to 1915, where they still serve floats, malts, Ricky, shakes, phosphates, and sundaes, complete with a soda jerk, as they used to call them back in the day. Also back in the day, the original alignment of Route 66 would take you down Fair Oaks from South Pasadena to downtown Los Angeles on the road that is now called the Arroyo Seco Parkway, or the Pasadena Freeway. It officially ended at first in the heart of downtown on 7th and Broadway, but now extends all the way through Los Angeles, West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, and more, ending, of course, at the fabled Pacific Ocean in Santa Monica.
And that's the end of the trail. Route 66 from Chicago to the Santa Monica Pier. Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and right here in California. Thank you so much for sticking with PhotoWalks as we endured and enjoyed and loved the trip of a lifetime. Now, meanwhile, I've got some ideas on how I would do things differently, what works, what doesn't, when's the best time to go, what are some of the best places to visit, some of the best places to skip out on, and I'm going to cover those in a future episode. Meanwhile, if you have any questions or concerns, I am one click away at PhotowalksTV.com. I'm Jefferson Graham, and I'll see you on the next Photo Walk.